The first thing I think of is that the use of my vision is so important for everything I do, from reading and learning to appreciating art, having artistic experiences, to being able to move my body, to do things like run. So I just think the use of my vision is something that is constantly happening. But another thing that's made me think is, how do I use my vision? Makes me think, do I use it well? Am I fully appreciating this kind of like ability, the ability to see that I have, and perhaps I'm not using it to its fullest potential. And I think if you focused on that more, using your vision, you could really everyone could get something more out of it and appreciate it more. How much do you value vision? Of course, I really, really value my vision. I think more than, it's probably one of the things I value the most about my physical being. It's strange because it's something that most people have, but nevertheless, most people seem to have this kind of appreciation and like recognition that it is just this really remarkable thing. And it's really peculiar because other things that we have, like, well, obviously other senses, but for example, touch, we just take that for granted, and it's seen as a kind of a really primal thing that we need to go about our kind of daily activities. But vision is one of those things that there seems to be this kind of really, it seems to be valued greatly by a lot of people. And so, yeah, I really value my vision, and also, as a lot of people probably have personal reasons, I'd say I have personal reasons that are things that have made me think about what life would be like without vision, that make me value it more. I suppose it's peculiar because vision is something that so much defines our consciousness and our conscious experience. So to be without vision would be so much like being without conscious experience. So it's peculiar to think of being one day without vision. 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 I mean, it has to be something human, I think. Like something like the look in someone's eyes, or on the other hand, a completely natural beauty, like a kind of rolling landscape. Vision, I think colour. If I think of light, I think oh, that's not a buzzword. Okay, if I think of light, I think beauty.
I have to look at what I'm doing, and it's important to be able to see what you're creating in a visual medium. I feel like vision is about light, isn't it? That's what I'm thinking. Because you can still see when you have your eyes shut. It's just less light, and the more light you can see, the more detail you can see. Going blind would be way worse than going deaf. Vision. 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 Vision.
I value my vision a lot more than my hearing, or my smell, or my touch. It's definitely the most important because it lets you see the beauty of our world. The best thing I'd ever seen, one of them is where Aslan comes over the stone table. Well, no, not like that, but he walks over the stone table in Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. And the other would be when I'm in Scotland and the sun hits the loch and it just shimmers everywhere, and then I climb the mountain to find the stag. Just light, kind of orangey yellow, mainly yellow but with an orange tint. Kind of white, kind of like that kind of silvery diamond colour. Sharp edges. My sight, I value the most.
One of the very early visions I had, or sights I saw, was looking across the Firth of Clyde from where we lived to the Isle of Arran, and I really enjoyed that. And then later, when I was maybe early 20s, we visited Arran on a little sailing trip which the family did on an excursion ship, and we went on to Arran and walked around And I really enjoyed that excursion and the look around. Yes, the light, it's a gentle coast, the west coast of Scotland, and unlike the east, the Edinburgh area, there's not the strong wind. So we had much more rain, of course, but it was a pleasant atmosphere, and I think we as a family enjoyed going out and walking along the promenade, looking at the waves when there was full tide, and the waves would leap over the little wall on the esplanade, and we had fun as children, actually, when I'm thinking even further back, running underneath the curve of the wave as it came over the esplanade wall. So I think that was one of the very early memories I had on my own. And then, of course, thinking of other things, where I grew up on the banks of the River Doon, where we lived, and we had a house there, and I could go out into the area where my father had his market garden, and if I went closer to the water, I could go in amongst the long grasses and sit down, and I enjoyed that because nobody could see me, and I had a little private time. Oh, not for very long, 5 minutes or a little bit more, because we always had lots, especially at the weekend, on a Sunday, lots of visitors who came to visit us. So these are early memories that I have. When I close my eyes, I think I see clouds scurrying across the sky. And some days they go fast, depending on the wind. And other days they're just quite still, and the sun is able to peep through in the breaks in the clouds. So that's fun. Looks nice. I think there weren't many children around me when I was growing up at weekends, because we lived just outside of the town, and so I liked my privacy and my solitude, and I liked my own imaginations, and then I could go and. My father always liked to draw and paint a lot, so he and I would paint what we've been out and looking at, if we've been out and looking at it, and we could see, see the water and the waves and the island. I think I belong to the coast, the west coast of Scotland. Oh yes, yes. I think the sense which I value most is my sight. I can't imagine not being able to see. I think it'd be absolutely dreadful.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could live without seeing anything. It'd be very hard. I could live, but it'd be very hard. I think it's very important to see what's in front of you and take it in full, so you could experience it. I use my vision to see the world, see the everyday, see life. It's a big deal. I value it. Very important. I like to look at things, look what's around me, see the world, see people, see good art. J. Cole live. Close your eyes and think of vision, light.
never actually thought of that before, because like I feel like I don't use my vision to its greatest potential. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like everyone takes it for granted in a way. Like no one necessarily says, oh, I'm gonna, use my vision and go seek this out. Like no one does that. I think you just take it for granted. Like you see things you don't necessarily want to see, so you don't necessarily like use and not use it. On the day of my granddad's funeral, there was this like amazing sunset. Like we were driving home and the sunset was like crazy that day. Literally in the sky there was every colour of the rainbow. Like I'm not even joking. Like blues and pinks and reds and oranges, and there was even like green in the sky. It was like incredible. And it was just like the most crazy thing we'd ever seen. Like as a whole family, we were all like, oh my god. Like we like travelled up to the highest point in Scarborough to go and see it, which was kind of crazy. If I see like vision, do you know what I think of? Like a crystal ball. Do you know what I mean? That's what I kind of see with that. With light, like obviously like a light bulb, but also like, like heaven, when it's like the clouds and there's like the golden light in the sky, like that. Which is kind of cool. Like, vision is kind of like, makes you feel like, like mysterious, kind of like witchy, like magical. But then like light is just sort of bright and glowy, but also kind of warm, but it could be really cold because like light is kind of like a positive, but also can be a negative thing. Sometimes you don't want light. Like when I have a migraine, light is really horrible and I try my hardest not to see any light and just be in darkness because it like hurts me to physically look at it. But like other times, all you want is light. Like sometimes when me and Tom stay behind, and all we want is for it to be dark. But then other times when I'm doing something, all I want is for some like natural light.
Undoubtedly the most important visual experience I've had was the first time I met Nan when I was aged just coming up to 17, and I saw this young woman with the large blue eyes, blonde hair, neat ankles and a very trim figure, and I thought she was the most spectacular person I'd ever seen, and I decided at that stage I was going to marry her. Took a bit of time, but we made it eventually. I don't have too many. Part of my problem is I don't have a well-developed sense of colour because my vision is poor. I don't use my central vision. And so I tend to see things more in shape than in colour. For instance, I tend to think that Nan now dresses in black, because I just see a black shape. But I know in fact that she often dresses in dark greens and dark blues, but they don't register with me. So my main experiences of colour will be colour in nature. I remember seeing the lakes in eastern Canada in the Rockies. There's a lake called Vermilion Lake. I have very vivid memories of that. Memories of the Himalayas in Nepal, standing at the end of a valley above Kathmandu, and you could look across at Everest. And that was pretty spectacular. I'll never forget that. Right now, I know I'm looking directly at you, but I don't see you. I just see your kind of dark grey fudge. And so I miss all the information that should come from colour. And I regret that. One adapts to it, and after a while, you forget that you're missing out on what should be a very important experience. But I envy people who can, appreciate the subtleties of colour. I don't get it. Two things happen, not infrequently. I'll think that she's there, and I'll talk to her, and I don't get any reply back. Oh yeah, I appreciate her, obviously. I think for you, colour and shape must be a lot more important than it is to me. So I think I'm going now by shapes and movement and not by colour. I don't make the association what many people do, I know, between music and colour. When I hear Chopin like that doesn't evoke any kind of tint of colour. I just appreciate the structure of the movement, but it doesn't translate into any colour experience. Light is happy. It is bright, of course. Yeah. But light also means in weight. It's not heavy, it's not somber. All of these things would go together, perhaps. So if you see something that's light, it's light in colour, but it's also light in weight. And it's light perhaps because it reveals, it shows up the environment around you. It illuminates.
I use vision every day. All the waking time. I guess one takes it for granted when you have your vision. Vision informs you and guides you through what you're doing. It's a huge way by which one takes in the world, a basis for learning, gaining information, a basis for pleasure and fun. How you use it is automatic without necessarily thinking. Vision I use for everyday activity, work, leisure. Vision is something I take for granted, although with an inherited condition in the family affecting vision, I realize it is going to deteriorate. But despite that, it brings enormous pleasure. I guess I value vision for the places, activity, experiences I've witnessed. Day-to-day pleasures, special events, marriage, birth of a baby. Traveling. Seeing places in the world. Reading is something I've always enjoyed, and I'm enjoying even more now that I'm retired. I realise there are ways one can get pleasure from books without reading, but at the moment, knowing I might not always be able to, I'm gaining tremendous pleasure from it. I guess therefore I value vision enormously. I do take it for granted. I know that it is inevitable that my vision is going to deteriorate. I've seen this happen to relatives in the family, and I guess what helps me enormously is knowing that my father has coped with the problem very much better than his own father. He has been able to use technology, and I know that there will be better technology when I come to need and rely on it. I also know there are medical developments in the field of genetics. It may be that I will benefit from them. So it feels strange to me at the moment, valuing vision enormously, knowing it's going to deteriorate, but not at the moment worrying excessively about it, or as yet feeling sad or distressed by the prospect of losing it. I'm fortunate to understand a good deal about the condition and to appreciate that my eyesight seems to be deteriorating later in life than my father's. So it could well be into my 80s and 90s that I will have greater difficulties, assuming other medical things don't intervene before them. So I suppose I know that it is likely I'll no longer be able to see looking ahead to the future, but I have faith in the supports that will be available to help with this. I have been fortunate to travel extensively, and there are particular places that I think are the best experiences visually I have had. I remember the first time I saw the Himalayas. I remember seeing what was then called Ayers Rock and the Olga Mountains in the centre of Australia. More recently, I remember the pleasure looking at the Taj Mahal, and in particular looking at my son looking at the Taj Mahal for the first time. For me, vision is very much tied to experiences, and particularly experiences of places I have been to and seen. When I think of vision, I very much think of the places I have been associated with particular visual experiences. Light I experience as warmth, a warm, comfortable feeling. I think vision is probably the sense I value the most, although I'm aware from my professional life that lacking hearing can be more isolating for people. I suppose I would like to think of losing vision as less devastating than losing hearing. I suppose my thoughts are very much influenced by the fact that I'm aware that I am inevitably going to experience deteriorating vision. I seem to manage to separate the intellectual thoughts of vision and losing it from the emotional experience at the moment. And I hope I'll be able to manage that in the future.